Kristen, thanks. 502 breaking overnight. Bernalillo County deputies are trying to figure out how a body ended up in the middle of a South Valley road.
Yeah, they got a call around 10:30 last night to check on a person in the road. But when they arrived, they found the person was dead. That's where we find News 13's Catherine Mazzone. She's live out at Riverside and Hardy Avenue this morning. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Crystal. As you can see behind me, there is still a very active scene here as detectives try to figure out exactly what happened. Now, there is a crime scene unit on hand as well as multiple detectives investigating, as I mentioned. Officials say this is being investigated as a homicide.
There's a lot of unanswered questions, but we'll be able to hopefully get some of those answers as we work through the night.
Now, the call came in just before 10:30 last night. At first, deputies thought they were just coming out to check on a person in the middle of the road, but when they got to the 400 block of Riverside Southwest, they found that person was dead. Now, they're considering the case a homicide, but right now they're still not sure whether the person was killed here or somewhere else and then left in the road.
Homicide detectives are coming out and crime scene investigations to basically start processing the scene, looking for evidence, trying to find out exactly what led up to tonight's events.
Now, again, this investigation is still in its very early stages, and investigators say they're exploring all possible situations at this time. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Catherine. Now, we will continue to follow this story and keep you updated as more information does come into our newsroom. Also happening overnight, Torrance County Sheriff's deputies are investigating an overnight homicide. It happened sometime yesterday evening, 3 miles east of Edgewood. Details are limited at this time. News 13 has learned one man is dead. A suspect is in custody. No word as to how the man died or what charges the suspect will face. Now, when our crews arrived, police were questioning a possible witness there. We did make a call to the Torrance County Sheriff's Office early this morning. They say they'll have more information for us later today. We'll update you on air and, of course, on our KRQE News app.
Now 504, Bernalillo County is looking to tear down an old jail in the heart of downtown, but it could cost them some big bucks. The county stopped using the Regional Correctional Center at 5th and Roma after MDC was built in 2001, and it's been used by other agencies as a film set ever since. It's now closed, though, due to safety issues. The county could demolish it for $2.5 million. It could try to renovate it for $26 million, or do nothing and keep paying $85,000 per year for utilities and insurance. A decision is set to be made on Tuesday.
We turn out to this. Some changes are coming to the Albuquerque Police Department. It now plans on randomly testing its officers for steroids. The Journal reports that city officials announced on Friday that the city would accept comment on the proposed steroid testing for 2 weeks, then start testing 30 days after that. Officers currently undergo random testing for drugs like pot and cocaine. The city will add more than 50 types of steroids to the list of drugs to be screened as part of a settlement with the U.S. Justice Department.
In the wake of several searches, state police say they see a spike in rescues as things begin to warm up. This is Search and Rescue's latest mission when they found the body of a glider pilot who crashed south of Santa Fe earlier this week. Crews say more people are out in the summer months and often unprepared for their surroundings, and they warn those who may be out of shape to choose their routes wisely. Search and Rescue says the buddy system is the best way to stay safe when enjoying outdoor activities over the summer. They say if you do go alone, at least tell someone where you're heading and when you expect to get back.
Here's some great news for the kiddos. A new pool is open up here in Albuquerque. People at Rio Grande High School celebrated the opening of the school's new pool with a splash bash this weekend. Now, since the pool was in such bad shape, the city council approved $200,000. APS kicked in another $200 grand for a new one. Altogether, more than $3 million was spent on the project for renovations there. People we spoke with said it was all worth it. School officials say they'll now offer lifeguard training, aerobics classes, and competitive swimming.
Looks like a lot of fun, right?
That does look like a lot of fun. We shift now to a developing story out of China, where rescue crews have recovered well over 400 bodies since the cruise ship capsized just last week in China.
That's all according to Chinese state media. This is video of crews using massive cranes to right the ship. 456 people were on board the Eastern Star when it overturned last Monday. State media reports that 14 survivors were found. 8 people are still missing. And developing right now, firefighters in Pennsylvania are busy trying to contain a huge fire at a chemical warehouse. The fire has sent toxic plumes of black smoke into the sky. This is happening in the city of Hanover. No word yet as to what sparked the flames, but crews still on scene today. Chaos at a concert in northern New Jersey. Police in riot gear used mace and a piercing alarm to try to disperse rowdy crowds Sunday night. Concert goers were pushing and shoving to get into a hip-hop and R&B concert at MetLife Stadium. The lineup included artists like Chris Brown, Kendrick Lamar, and Trey Songz. Officials say people were trying to enter illegally. Some witnesses say concert goers had tickets but were frustrated by slow security screening. Officials report several arrests.
And we start with some overnight news. A welfare check turned into a homicide investigation.
Bernalillo County deputies say they got a call about a person lying in the middle of the road, and when they got there, that person was dead. It happened last night in the South Valley, and we turn to News 13's Catherine Mazzone. She's live at Riverside and Hardy Avenue. What's the latest, Catherine?
Good morning, Adam. As you can see behind me, there's not an investigation going on anymore. Detectives have wrapped up the scene, but they will continue to follow leads throughout the day. It took them hours to try to figure out exactly what happened here on the 400 block of Riverside.
Initially, officers thought they were coming out to what's considered a down and out. It was an individual that was lying in the roadway. When they arrived on scene, they did find an individual that was deceased.
That's Public Information Officer Sergeant Aaron Williamson with Bernalillo County. He tells us deputies got the call just before 10:30 last night. At first, Williamson says they thought they were just coming out to check on a person, but when they got here, they found that person was dead. They're considering the case a homicide, but right now they're still not sure whether this person was killed here or somewhere else and then left in the road. Now, Williamson says they're still very early in the investigation, but as you can see, they have wrapped up the scene. They determined that the victim is a male subject in his 20s. His identity is not being released at this time until next of kin can be notified. No arrests also have been made. No suspect information is available at this time. Back to you.
Catherine, thank you. In the meantime, no word yet on the identity of the victim or how that person died. We're going to continue to follow this story and bring you more information on our KRQE News app and here on KRQE This Morning. Also, while you were sleeping, an arrest and a stabbing near 2nd and Central. Witnesses tell News 13 it happened after a fight a couple of blocks away. Someone, police say, pulled out a knife and stabbed a man in the neck. They were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. No word on the name of the suspect, but police do tell us they did make an arrest early this morning. We'll continue to update you on this story on the KRQE News app.
A violent confrontation caught on camera. Video a lot of you are talking about this morning on the KRQE Facebook page. It happened Saturday at USS Bullhead Memorial Park when this man, 24-year-old Xavier Amaya, started threatening 2 women with a gun. That's according to police. Police say one of the women was Amaya's girlfriend. The fight started after she confronted him about having an affair. When he tries to leave, though, one of the women follows him. That's when he turns around and pistol whips the girl right across the head. He tries it again, but the gun goes flying. He then grabs the gun and flees, leaving the crowd with some terrifying threats. Listen.
He did say that, he was going to go and kill all of this girl's whole family. He was going to come back and kill everybody here. And, we don't take violence and threats lightly in our community, and we don't want that kind of element in our community.
So Amaya was arrested the very next day. He now faces several felony charges, including aggravated battery. Happening today, lawmakers in Santa Fe will begin a special session. They're expected to approve nearly $300 million worth of public projects across the state. The bill died in March after last-second squabbling between House Republicans and Senate Democrats. Also on the agenda, a package of tax cuts and extra funding for state courts and the health department. The session is only expected to last 1 day.
Also happening on this Monday, construction begins on a new interchange at I-25 and Cerrillos Road. The Department of Transportation says this new interchange will be safer, easier, and quicker for drivers. It's called a diverging diamond. It's the first of its kind in New Mexico. The nearly $20 million project is scheduled to be finished late next year. You can always find up-to-date road conditions, including traffic cameras across the region, right now on the KRQE News app.
A convicted rapist suspected of attacking multiple girls is expected to be sentenced for raping a 13-year-old girl today. 58-year-old Joseph Balayya was found guilty of the 1980s attack of an 8th grader near McKinley Middle School. She is just one of many victims that have come forward, all attacked by a masked man with a knife. The break-in, the case came in 2010 after DNA matched and a court decision that ruled there is no statute of limitations for rape. Several other cases are pending at this time.
Time now 5:36. Developing this morning, a convicted felon elected to public office in Los Lunas is hoping to receive a pardon from the governor by this afternoon. The Middle Rio Grande Conservancy District says votes from Tuesday's election have all been counted, and Matthew Aragon of Los Lunas won the Valencia County seat to be on the board by 36 votes. But Aragon, who was allowed to run for office, can't be sworn in because he was convicted in 1997 of a felony charge of shooting at a car. He was in Santa Fe yesterday asking the governor for a pardon. He has until 1:30 this afternoon, or someone else will have to fill that position.
Happening now, a massive manhunt in New York State where law enforcement is hoping to bring in 2 escaped murderers. Investigators say the men used power tools to cut their way out of the maximum security prison. The pair managed to crawl through a series of tunnels and steam pipes before finally cutting through a lock on a manhole to freedom. Authorities worried they are headed to Canada, but they've also warned agencies in Mexico to be on the lookout for them. There they are on your screen. There is a $100,000 reward to catch both of them.
On to this wild weather caught on camera in Iowa. The storm chaser video shows a lightning storm in Sioux City on Saturday. A shelf cloud moving across the sky there and illuminated by lightning flashes. It caused power outages, wind damage across the city, that storm. The severe storms began rolling through eastern Nebraska and western Iowa overnight Saturday into Sunday. No injuries are reported in all of this, but what a spectacular show.